time in its history, the World Center of Racing will host the final race of the regular season for the NASCAR Cup Series. 15 spots in the playoffs are confirmed, and 15 drivers are fighting for one more spot in the chase for the championship. And what a way to battle it out for 400 miles of on the edge of your seat excitement as MDK RaceDay gets you set and ready for the 2021 Coke Zero Sugar 400 from the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. Weather is expected to be clear and calm here tonight, temperature in the low to mid 80s, 14% chance of rain, 6-mile-an-hour winds southeast of the racetrack, but it does have a high humidity, 84%. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final MDK race day of the regular season. My name is Jeff. Hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday afternoon to cap off August of 2021 with the final race of the regular season. And what a way to end it, like I said, at the Daytona International Speedway. We will see 3-wide, maybe even 4-wide racing of edge of your seat excitement as we see 15 drivers will fight for one more spot to make it to NASCAR's playoffs. Now it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be showing the playoff grid. We know 1st to 15th, those spots are confirmed. Kyle Larson has, I believe, a 28-point lead ahead of Denny Hamlin for the regular season championship. But right now, those two drivers, Larson, Hamlin, and other 15 drivers, they are already locked in. To recap, the drivers that are locked in are Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, William Byron, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Christopher Bell, Michael McDowell, Denny Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick. But one spot is up for grabs, like I've said before, and that is going to be between really the two RCR drivers. Tyler Reddick, he currently holds a final playoff spot, 25 points ahead of Austin Dillon. Now, Tyler Reddick and Austin Dillon, they are the only two drivers that can make it into the playoffs based off of points. JettMDK on back, they are too far behind in order to make it in on points. You have to be within 60 points to make it in on points. Matt JettMDK is 120 points behind, therefore he has to win. As well as everyone else behind JettMDK, they also have to win if they want to make it to the playoffs. So who are the drivers that are currently in contention? Well, there are 15 spots, like I said, up for grabs. 17 drivers have competed full time, Josh Bilicki and Quinn Houff. However, those drivers, they will not have enough points to lock themselves into the top 30. Even if, let's say, Bilicki or Quinn Houff in some alternate universe, let's say if they were to win at Daytona, they will not have enough points to even bring themselves into the top 30, so they have been eliminated or mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. So these are the drivers. Currently, Tyler Reddick, his name is colored in green. That means he is currently locked in. Austin Dillon, his name is colored in yellow. That means he's the only driver that can make it in on points. Matt JettMDK, Chris Buescher, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace, Chase Briscoe, Eric Jones. You see Daniel Suarez there also. Ryan Newman, the 2008 Daytona 500 winner. Ryan Preece, Cole Custer, Corey LaJoie, and rookie Anthony Alfredo. Those drivers are the only drivers that can make their way into the playoffs, but they're going to have to win in order to make that happen. And now let's take a look at the starting lineup for the 2021 Coke Zero Sugar 400. Hendrick on the front row, Kyle Larson, no surprise to see him on pole. To his outside is the defending Coke Zero Sugar 400 winner in William Byron. Row 2 is filled up with JGR teammates Denny Hamlin on the inside lane and Kyle Busch, the 2008 Daytona winner. Row 3 has Chase Elliott, the defending NASCAR Cup Series champion, and last week's winner from Michigan, Ryan Blaney. Row 4 has Martin Truex Jr. in the 19 Toyota, and to his outside is the 2017 Daytona 500 champion in Kurt Busch. Rounding out the top 10 in row 5 is a bunch of Ford alliances. Matt JettMDK, who came close to winning on a super speedway last fall at Talladega, and to his outside is a 2016 Coke Zero 400 winner and Brad Keselowski. Row 6 has Kevin Harvick, the 2007 Daytona 500 champion, and to his outside is Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who won here back in 2017. Row 7 has Chris Buescher in the 17 Ford, and to his outside is the Daytona road course winner from this year and Christopher Bell. Row 8 has Alex Bowman in the 48 car and rookie Chase Briscoe in the Mobil 1 Ford. Row 9 has Tyler Reddick in the 8 car, and to his outside is the defending Daytona 500 champion looking to do the Daytona sweep is Michael McDowell in the 34 car. Rounding out the top 20 is Aric Almirola, who won his very first race at this track back in 2014, and on the outside of him is Bubba Wallace in the 23 car. Row 11 has Eric Jones. We know his plans is that he will return to Richard Petty Motorsports in 2022. He starts alongside Joey Logano, the 2015 Daytona 500 champion. Row 12 has Ryan Newman, the 2008 500 champion, and Ryan Preece and the 37 Chevrolet. Row 13 has a Formula 1 car of Cole Custer and Daniel Suarez and the Comscope Chevrolet car. Row 14 has Austin Dillon, the 2018 Daytona 500 champion, and a winner from this race 2 years ago, Justin Haley in the 77 car. Ross Chastain in the 42 car, who won an Xfinity race here at Daytona a few years ago, and to his outside is the 78 car of BJ McLeod. And the other remaining 5 rows, row 16, Cody Ware and Ricky Anthony Alfredo. Corey LaJoie returns after not being able to compete last weekend at Michigan, starts alongside Garrett Smithley. Row 18, Quinn Half and Josh Bilicki, Joey Gase and Kaz Grala in the 16 car for Colleague Racing. And round out the field is Landon Castle in the 96 car. To his outside is the 66 car of David Starr. Let's take a look at the odds to win at Daytona. Now, since it is a super speedway race, it is really difficult to get an idea on betting odds, but here it is, presented by DraftKings. Denny Hamlin, a 3-time Daytona 500 champion, plus 750. He is on top of the board. Kyle Larson, the best driver of 2021, plus 1100. William Byron, who won this race last year for his first career Cup Series win, plus 1200. Alongside that with Joey Logano and Chase Elliott. Ryan Blaney, last week's winner, plus 1300. Austin Dillon, the 2018 Daytona 500 champion, plus 1500. Brad Keselowski, a winner here at Daytona back in 2016, alongside Kyle Busch, 2008 winner. They're both sitting at 1600. Alex Bowman plus 1800. Teammates Eric Almirola and Kevin Harvick plus 2000, as well as Christopher Bell. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. plus 2200. The 2017 Daytona Coke Zero 400 winner, as well as Matt Benedetto plus 2200. Bubba Wallace and Martin Truex Jr. plus 2500. Kurt Busch plus 2,800, and finally Ryan Newman and Tyler Reddick, they're sitting at plus 3,000. So, what can we expect? What are the expectations from this race? I think you're going to see a lot of what we saw last year's race. If you don't remember last year's race, it was chaotic, don't get me wrong, but it was really chaotic from stage 3 onwards. Stage 1, stage 2 was pretty calm, at least how I viewed it. It was pretty calm. We did see some aggressive moves, but it was generally calm in stage 1 and stage 2. I think you're going to see the same thing here today, especially with so many spots already confirmed. Only one spot is up for grabs. The drivers like Harvick, Byron, Logano, Blaney, Larson, they can chill, they can relax, they don't have to worry about this race because they know they're locked in. They can just ride to the finish, or at least till near the end of the race. Well, then they're gonna think, okay, we gotta go, let's try and win this race now, we got no worries to. But especially the other drivers that are trying to fight their way into the playoffs, like Reddick, like Dillon, those two drivers are gonna have to be very aggressive, I feel like. And really, they are the only two drivers that I think are going to be very aggressive because they are in positions for points. They can make it on points, only Dillon and Reddick. Dillon's got to do a lot more work because he is 25 points behind, but still, it's a lot more difficult, I think, to manage a super speedway race when you're racing for points. The drivers behind them, like DiBenedetto, Bubba Wallace, Chastain, Stenhouse, they know what they have to do. They got to win. They don't have to worry about positioning themselves for stage points or anything like that. They just got to win. And you've heard the phrase, in order to finish first, you must first finish. So stage 1, stage 2 is going to be pretty calm. I won't be surprised if you expect to see Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick be very aggressive, but outside of those two drivers, I think it's going to remain pretty calm. However, from stage 3 onwards, especially near the last 20-30 laps, it can be very, very hectic. That is what I'm very excited to watch for, is seeing how Tyler Reddick and Austin Dillon work, or at least race against each other, because they are teammates, but for this race, they're not teammates. They may race for the same organization, but they're not teammates today. They are their biggest competitors. And it's going to be very interesting to see some of the other drivers, like Stenhouse, a former winner at Daytona. We know he can be extremely aggressive, and there's a 99.8% chance that whenever Stenhouse is in the field, he's more than likely going to cause a wreck. Not always the case, but again, 99.8% of the time, he's probably going to cause a wreck. But yeah, drivers like Stenhouse, Bubba Wallace, also not too shabby on the super speedways. We saw that this year with the new TRD power underneath his hood. He can also be a factor. Ross Chastain can get some Chevy help from Kurt Busch, that can help him maybe push his way towards the front. There's a lot of factors. That's the beauty about Daytona, is the fact that if you're in it, you can win it. It's also why this is so damn difficult to predict who's going to win, is because there's so many drivers that has a factor, or at least that has a chance. Now, yes, I did say the top 15, they don't have to worry about it, but still, they're in position to still earn some more stage point, or at least to earn some playoff points that can help them in the playoffs. And also, we have to think about the regular season championship between Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin. Larson is 28 points ahead, just around the same points buffer that Reddick and Dillon are racing under. Dillon and Reddick is 25, Larson and Hamlin is 28. So even though they're already locked in, I won't be surprised if even Denny Hamlin might want to look out for Larson and even try to force the issue and beat him on stage points and try and go for the win, because Hamlin has zero. He has 0 playoff points, I believe, to his name. And if so, maybe only 5. But he has not won a race, so he has little to none playoff points to his name. That is going to be very key. When the playoffs begin, he might be second at the end of the regular season, but when the playoffs begin, he's probably going to be way back, maybe 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Who knows? He could be at the back end of the playoff grid if he doesn't get these playoff points and doesn't win the regular season championship. So this is also a very important race for Hamlin. So I think you're going to see Hamlin maybe be a little bit aggressive, and especially you're going to see Reddick and Austin Dillon be strategically aggressive in terms of seeing where they are, or how they position themselves for points and things like that. But I think you're going to see the desperate drivers come to life with Stenhouse, Bubba Wallace, Suarez, Chastain, those drivers that have nothing to lose. They know the only way they can have a shot at the championship is to win. Because of that, you're going to see a lot of desperate moves out there, a lot of desperate people out there, especially as we get closer to the finish of this race. Now, usually I give my pick to win, but because of Daytona, I can't really do that. I can't really pick. I mean, think about it. The last 3 Coke 0400s have been all won by first-timers. Last year was William Byron. The year before was Justin Haley. And 2018 was Eric Jones. You can kind of throw in Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I mean, it was his second Cup win, but still, it was one of the first. So you can kind of count that in, I guess. But still, Daytona, as of late, has been known to produce a lot of first-timers. We can go back to 2011. Trevor Bayne won his first race in the 500. David Reagan in the Coke 0400. Even earlier in February, the Daytona 500 this year, Michael McDowell, he won his first race. We've seen a lot of drivers as of late on the super speedways get their very first win, and I don't have a reason as to why that trend could not continue today. So while I can't give a driver that I think is going to win, I can give a driver that I think is going to make it to the playoffs. And I think it's going to come down between either Tyler Reddick or Austin Dillon. I don't think we're going to see a brand new winner. I don't see that happening. I think we could see one of the top 15 drivers win. Just maybe. But as for the 16th playoff driver, or at least the 16th driver to make his way into the playoffs, I have Austin Dillon. Not Tyler Reddick. I have Austin Dillon making his way into the playoffs, edging out his teammate. And the reason why is because the man's not that bad on the super speedways. In fact, he has the best average finish, and this is a very interesting stat, but he has the best average finish out of any active driver full-time at Daytona. Average finish of 14.75. He has finished inside the top 10 in half of his races, 8 out of 16 races, 3 top 10s, and he does have that win in the 2018 Daytona 500. And if we look at some of his recent finishes back in February, he had a really strong car, a driver rating of 108.5, which means he was in the top 10 virtually the entire race. Finished third in stage 1, 5th in stage 2 to finish 3rd in the 500. He also has some pretty good runs in the July race, back then when it was raced in July, when he was not caught up in wrecks. So yeah, Austin Dillon is not that bad on the super speedways, and the fact that he has much more experience than Tyler Reddick on cup racing at the super speedways could play to his advantage. So because of that, I think Austin Dillon, he is going to beat his teammate and he will make it into the playoffs. But yeah, that's going to wrap up this episode of MDK Race Day. Guys, tell me in the comment section down below. Maybe not who do you think is going to win? I mean, because you can't really pick, but what do you think is going to happen? What do you think the trend of the race is going to be? Tell me in the comment section down below. By the time this is up, well, actually, I'm recording this on a Tuesday night, which is the earliest I've ever done for a race day video. That's because I'm going to be at Daytona on Saturday. I get on a plane, leave on Thursday to fly to Jacksonville, so can't wait for this weekend to be at Daytona, both Friday and Saturday. Looking forward to that. But yeah, that's it. Thank y'all so much for watching this episode of MDK Racing. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona. We'll see you next time.